Batas International Media. www.batasmedia.com. From the Philippines to the world, for the glory of God and service to mankind.
Bagong alyansang tagapagtaguyod ng adhikaing sambayanan.
The Better Globe Power. Well, since you already mentioned about Mystica'S Charity Foundation and Better Globe, I was actually appointed as the Managing Director of Better Globe Marketing Philippines Incorporated here in the Philippines. Okay, now I am involved with Better Globe Forestry in Kenya. And this is a Norwegian company who wanted to eradicate poverty in Africa. But they have chosen Philippines because, of course, they know also that there's poverty here in the Philippines all over. So they wanted to find somebody who can lead, like a commander. Right? And of course, I was very fortunate that I was chosen because when they have given me this 8 pages personal assessment test, and they found out that I have this leadership in me. Not just because I was very famous as Mystica in the Philippines doing all these controversies or whatever, but they have tested me if I have the capability to lead. So I passed this personal assessment test. And as a result, it was like, if they needed, it was actually specifically stated there, underneath, if they needed a military commander, and I am that person, and I can prove that personal assessment test. So right now I have this Better Globe as a tool. They provide this tool for everybody, especially like foundations or any spiritual organizations, to be presented by me. And all I have to do now is to convince these organizations, like us, this organization right now. You have said a while ago, we have the power. We have the thoughts. We have the heart. Like God has given us. I was just telling everybody a while ago that everybody thinks that God will provide. Yes, God will provide, but He has already given us. He has provided us already everything abundant, limitless. All we need to do is how can we reach it? Take action. Thank you so much for giving me exactly. Think, feel, say, do. And here I am. I have used my thought. I was actually a valedictorian when I was in school. And my father wanted me to be a leader as a lawyer. Unfortunately, he was assassinated because he was in politics and they killed him. I didn't become a lawyer. I became an entertainer instead in show business. I did my best to be famous or whatever in my own term. But of course, it was in a negative way because everyone thought that this is crazy, doing splits or whatever. That was just all about entertainment. And then after 5 years, I had to leave because I thought, this is it. I've done my part. I don't need it anymore. So I thought I was going to retire early, young. I went back to the United States. But then, retiring meaning you are ending it right there. Retiring means you're dead. You're not doing anything anymore. I know that I have to do something more useful, and that's the reason why I came back here, putting up my Mystica'S Charity Foundation. So right now with Better Globe, I said, I am going to prove to you that in each organization who's gonna be in my full force, because I came up with a great formula in order to build a foundation as big as whatever God wants for us. In order to do that, I want each of the member of the organization, for example, if we have 1 million members in our organization, this is just an example, each member has to donate or adopt a tree for 1,000 pesos each. That's equivalent to 1 billion pesos directly as a fund for this organization. Right there, we already have that fund. 10% in my program is gonna go to this foundation, whatever the name it is. It's either Mystica Charity Foundation or whatever it is. 10% is going there right away as an immediate fund. And then 90% is going for our project called Better Globe. And that 90%, for example, 1,000, 900 is going to Kenya, for example. And that 900 is going to be paid for these poor farmers of Africa. Of course, they have to pay some water, pay this family or whatever, so they can also sustain their needs, microfinancing, you name it, to take care of them also, to take care of our adopted trees for 20 years. If I'm going to go to you right now, I said, okay, this is my 900 pesos. Can you take care of my tree for 900 pesos only for 20 years? You would say, no way, that's not enough. But because we have this Better Globe Forestry, and that's our own company that's going to take care of those. Of course, once you're a company of Better Globe, you have the experts right here taking care of those trees, right? And then, as a reward to those donors who adopted those trees, we're going to be giving you, starting on the 5th year, 10% each year. Shall we put our money for 3% each year if you can in fact get 10% starting on the 5th year to the 19th year? So that's equivalent to 150%. If you're going to put your money on the savings at the bank, that's only 3% times 20 years, that's 60%. Kontra doon sa 150%. And on top of that, Better Globe is going to give you 10 times of what you have donated. Meaning that 900 pesos is gonna go 10 times, 9,000 pesos. Plus, yung 150% that you have accumulated starting on the 5th year to the 19th year, that's equivalent to 1,150% kontra doon sa 60% lang sa bangko. So, which would we rather go for? Putting our money to the bank or putting in this project? This is going to help the people through our foundation, through our religious organization, as a sustaining funds in order to generate whatever we want in this life. It's limitless as long as we know how to unite each other and make this possible. 1,000. If somebody said right now, I'm sorry, 1,000 is too much for me, that's an insult to God, because God has said, I have provided you everything. That money is coming from me, and now you're so selfish to not even give your own responsibility to that organization or whatever you call it. This can be possible. Meaning in 20 years' time, that 1 billion pesos that's coming from each member, let's say 1 million members, is going to generate an income of equivalent to 11.5 times or 1,150% in 20 years. And we have saved our earth because we are talking about trees that we need every day. If you take a look around what we need, everything is made up of trees. The demand of trees is going up, and it will never go down. It'll never. So this is for our own. This is for our own future. And just like what our leader has said a while ago, we have to come up with a great mind, power, love. Everything is there. Love, because we wanted to help each other. Unity. Saving the earth. Because God created the heaven and the earth, so we should take care of it. He has given us all the resources that we need. And why don't we take care of it? And produce, multiply. Because He has given us the power to think. But sometimes we are not thinking. We are just waiting and we're not doing anything. That's why thank you so much, because He has just proven what I have right now. The power. Because God has said, I have given you the power. And now it's time to use it. He has given us the brain to think. He has given us the heart to feel. He has given us the courage and be brave to say something. I'm here. I'm so brave enough because I'm confident. Because I know that this is going to work. So what we need right now is unity to put everything into action and make all things possible. And that is what you were talking about. And thank you so much because you've just proven it.
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
I thought we were just invited for a prayer meeting, and we didn't realize that we were actually surrounded with other people who were actually into tree planting also. And as a coincidence, I didn't realize that they have planted a lot of mahogany trees already in Montalban. So I was very interested to really find out if they were really telling the truth. So although it was raining yesterday, I didn't have any I didn't have any hesitation, I should say, to go there just to be able to see what was the reality. And I cannot believe to what I've seen. They have already planted thousands and thousands of mahogany trees. And it made me, it was a reminder for me. It's like I was reminded of going to Kenya when I was in Africa. When I went to our plantation, actually, and I've seen the same kind of scene I have seen right there in Kenya. And I can't believe that these trees are already right there. Ang dami po mga kaibigan. So that's for me to realize that whenever we're going to donate a lot of trees here, because like what I've mentioned before, paulit-ulit, di po ba? Sinabi ko po na in every donated tree or in every adopted tree that we're gonna be planting in Kenya, so there's gonna be equivalent to at least 5 trees that we're going to plant here in the Philippines.
My God, I'm really very excited and very lucky that I was invited today. Doesn't matter if it's raining actually, because yesterday we just had a meeting with some other groups, and I came out with the idea that in order to be able to save our environment, and planting trees is the best solution in order to save the world. I was just telling exactly what I was telling, and I was envisioning, meaning I was just looking at where my dream is, and all of a sudden here is the reality. Just like what I've been telling to everybody, that in every tree that's going to be planted in Kenya, and there's going to be an equivalent of at least 5 trees going to be planted here in the Philippines. So I was thinking it's like donating somewhere else, and then of course, you know, they have different kinds of probably like fruit-bearing trees or whatever, as long as they can plant trees in the Philippines. I didn't realize that this is the right place because they are exactly planting the same kind of trees. Well, it's not really the tropical mahogany like we have in Kenya for profit, but at least we can still say that these are all mahoganies that's really concise to what we actually plant in Kenya. For sure, I'm going to be very more excited because we're going to come up with lots of plans. We're going to come up with lots of ideas. How are we going to expand this? Because this is just a start, ladies and gentlemen. Now I know, because I can feel, I can see. This is a reality. I can't believe it. It's just a dream. I thought that they were just joking when they said that, oh, we got already some mahogany plantations very close to Manila. Meaning, I can come here anytime I want, especially during the weekends. So this is great. Oh my God.
Batas International Media.